Not what you wish for, not what you hope might one day show up on your doorstep, but what you believe deep in the marrow of your bones. What you accept as possible, what you hold as certain, what you burn into your identity. That belief, that truth you whisper to yourself when no one is watching, that becomes you. Every empire, every invention, every revolution of history was born not in steel or soil or stone, but in the invisible, the mind of someone who believed before there was evidence. When Thomas Edison was called a fool for attempting the electric light, when the world mocked him for failing 1,000 times, he didn't let doubt take root. He believed, unshakably, relentlessly. The world waited for results. Edison moved with conviction, and in that conviction, he rewired the very world we live in. Belief isn't wishful thinking, it is a weapon, sharpened by thought, hardened by adversity. Belief is the unseen architecture of achievement. Henry Ford said, "Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right." And history proved him prophetic. He believed that ordinary people could own cars in a time when only the wealthy dared dream it. That belief dismantled an entire industry and rebuilt it in his image. But let's bring this home, because this isn't about Edison, or Ford, or Disney, or Carnegie, or Lincoln. This is about you. You with the weight of unseen potential sitting dormant beneath the skin. You whose belief has been chipped away by failure, dulled by rejection, drowned in the noise of mediocrity. You were not born to shrink, you were born to shape. The greatest lie you've been sold is that your life is dictated by the external. Circumstances, economy, family, past mistakes. But the truth is, all transformation begins internally. You do not move the world by force, you move it by faith. Mindset is not a buzzword. It's the lens through which reality is created. Your beliefs color every thought, every decision, every action. They are the scriptwriters of your story. Change the belief, and you change the script. If you wake up believing you are powerless, your mind will filter the day for proof of that powerlessness. You will walk past opportunities. You will silence your voice. You will sabotage your own progress to stay consistent with that internal identity. But the reverse is also true. If you rise with belief in your capacity, your potential, your right to grow, the same world transforms. Obstacles become lessons. Delays become preparation. Setbacks become fuel. You don't just see differently, you act differently, and your results begin to align with that identity. That's the core. Identity. You cannot outwork your self-image. You cannot outperform what you believe you deserve. The internal thermostat always wins. Raise the setting or live your life in a room built for someone else's dreams. Clarity is power, but clarity begins with belief. You cannot build a vision for your life if your mind rejects it as fantasy. You must see it, feel it, live it, internally, before the world ever hands you a single piece of proof. That's what separates dreamers from doers. A dreamer wants, a doer believes. One stands on the shoreline and watches the storm. The other builds the ship and sails straight into it. But even belief must be anchored to something greater. Purpose. You must believe not only that you can, but that you must. That there is a mission stitched into your soul, a reason your lungs draw breath. And when belief collides with purpose, a human being becomes unstoppable. Discipline flows from this, because once you believe and once you know why, the how becomes irrelevant. You no longer negotiate with your feelings. You act, you move, you execute. Not because it's easy, but because it's aligned. The mountain doesn't shrink. You rise to meet it. And yes, you will fail. You will fall. You will face silence when you crave applause, resistance when you expect support, darkness when you seek light. But belief is forged in the fire, not before it. Steel only strengthens when hammered. So let the hammer fall. Let it test your edges. Let it shape you. Your belief is not a shield from adversity. It is a sword against it. Action then becomes the echo of belief. If you believe it, you move. Even when afraid, especially when afraid. Action is faith made flesh. And then comes gratitude. Not as a soft, feel-good emotion, but as a state of awareness. a recognition that you are already standing on the foundation of what once was impossible, that the breath in your chest, the mind in your skull, the fire in your gut, these are tools of creation. Gratitude fuels the journey. It reminds you how far you've come, so you never again question if you can go further. But the path is never straight. The road turns. The terrain shifts. What worked yesterday might crumble today. That's where adaptability is born. In the humility to evolve, in the willingness to discard what no longer serves, in the strength to rewrite your strategy without rewriting your destiny. Those who believe adapt. They learn, they grow, they listen not just to the world, but to the whisper within. And that whisper says, more is possible. Because resilience is not brute strength, it's belief that survives the storm. When Abraham Lincoln lost election after election, buried his children, faced war, and held the weight of a broken nation, he did not break, because his belief wasn't in victory, it was in purpose. You must decide what you believe, and then you must hold it, guard it, build around it, not in isolation, but with relentless learning. The curious mind is never poor. Read, study, watch, absorb. The beliefs that shape you are fed by the knowledge you consume. Never let your mind starve. The world today is loud, filled with distractions, temptations, noise designed to fracture your focus. But those who believe, truly believe, walk through the chaos like giants. They do not chase, they attract, not by magic, but by magnetism, the kind that only belief can generate. Because belief bends reality. When enough belief meets enough action, the world must respond. It has no choice. That is the law. That is the power. That is the truth. You become what you believe. So what do you believe? Believe in the unreasonable? Believe in the impossible? Believe in what terrifies and excites you all at once? Because history doesn't remember the ones who waited. It remembers the ones who believed. Not after it happened, not once it was safe, but before. Before the plan, before the applause, before the path was paved. They believed while the world doubted, while their knees shook, while their bank accounts drained, while their friends questioned, while the odds mocked them. They believed and they moved. And because they believed, we now live in the world they imagined. Now it's your turn. No one is coming to hand you belief. No one can plant it in you. You must claim it every day, every decision, every moment you choose to rise instead of retreat, to act instead of delay, to speak instead of silence. You must hold that belief like fire. Let it warm you. Let it light the dark. Let it burn through every excuse. Because belief is not something you wait for. It's something you build. You build it in the silence, in the discipline, in the sacrifice, in the stillness of early mornings, in the exhaustion of late nights, in the lessons of every failure. And when that belief becomes your foundation, everything changes. The world will not hand you your destiny, but it will mirror your belief. So stop waiting. Begin becoming. You become what you believe. Believe wisely, believe fully, believe now.